everybody, it's Femtrooper, and today I'm going to be going over all the games I've been playing recently. So, I beat 3 more games, and that means I get to review 3 more games. So I'm very excited today to talk to you about 3 interesting games, all of them really good actually, so let's just dive right into it. Of course, before we get into anything, please make sure you're subscribed if you're not. Please like the video and tell me what games you've been playing recently. The first game I want to talk about is a game that I beat that unfortunately I did put in my mid JRPG video. Now, mid doesn't mean it's awful, it's just not like amazing to me. It's not like one of the best games I've ever played, and you know, that's life. Not every single thing you play or watch or read is going to be the most amazing thing. And that is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Now, this is a really gorgeous game. Like, it's probably one of the best looking games I've ever seen in terms of, like, anime graphics. The game is stunning. Like, every time I got to a new area, anywhere, whether it was a city or a forest or a desert area, whatever, it was absolutely stunning looking. So that's probably my biggest positive for the game, is that it is a wow factor in terms of graphics. Now, the story is okay. It's really standard JRPG stuff, but I did like that it's a bunch of characters going on an adventure. I did enjoy that. It kind of throws you into something, so, well, you can play this without having played anything else in the Grand Blue Fantasy series, I suppose. I did feel a little bit like a little lost, so it's not that you can't. I did it, but I just feel like had I been playing, you know, some of these mobile games that they've come out with, I would have probably enjoyed it more. And the other thing is, the game is super short, and because it kind of just throws you in, it does, like, it's almost like you got to see one episode of this and then it was done. So the game is like, I don't know, it's under 15 hours. It was really short, like 12 hours or something. Very short game. Now, I've played really good JRPGs that are that short, like Super Mario RPG, for instance. That is super short and it's incredible. So it's not that JRPGs can't be short. They can. But this one, it needed to be longer. I felt like had it been like 25 hours, I think there would have been more character development and I would have been into it more. So it just left me kind of going, a lot of the time. Fun combat, you know, gorgeous looking game. I did enjoy the characters for what I got in terms of what they actually give you in terms of story. So yeah, it's good, it's just not great, and I do know and I am aware that I just played the single player JRPG like story. There's multiplayer stuff, there's all sorts of things you can do online. I didn't do any of those things, so if you do those things and you had a great time, that's wonderful. I didn't participate in any of that, so I just played the, I don't want to use the word campaign, but like I just played the single story that was about 12 hours, and it was just okay. Switching things up a little bit here in terms of not playing a JRPG, because that's my favorite genre, but I do like to dive into action-adventure games from time to time, and this one is great, and that is Marvel's Spider-Man 2. I love the first 2. They're awesome. I think I like the first one better than I liked Miles Morales, I think just because it was a bigger story, but Miles Morales was also fantastic. They're both great, and if you like both of those, Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales, then this is a great, great sequel to both of them, because they're both in this one. So it's kind of a 50-50. 50% of the time you're Peter, 50% of the time you are Miles, and it was really fun. There are actually a ton of Spider-Man, like, famous villains in this, like, a lot. It was really cool. A main villain for a big chunk of the game is Kraven, who's not my favorite Spider-Man villain, but somehow it worked and I was okay with it. But then, of course, Venom is a big part of this game, and it's not just Venom, it's not just you versus Venom. You know, it's the symbiote suit, it's you as Peter kind of changing while wearing the suit, and then other people having access to it, and I won't really get into it, but it was really well done, and it was really cool. One weird thing, and I don't hear it talked about that much because this game has gotten a lot of praise, it's a really good game, it's solid, 100%, but I will say, it definitely has that uncanny valley thing going on with real people's faces. So whenever I would see like Venom or Spider-Man swinging through the sky and all that stuff, it looked really, really good. And then whenever you'd see like Peter or Mary Jane or a real person, a human being talking, kind of looks a bit iffy, where I'm like, man, you know, Cloud doesn't look like this in Rebirth, or Ichiban doesn't look like this in Infinite Wealth, or whatever. And they're games that are relatively realistic looking. Like Barrett looks really good in Rebirth, and nobody looked as good as any of those characters in this, in Spider-Man 2. And I don't know what was going on, and some of the characters didn't look as good as what they did in the first one, and I thought that was kind of weird. I just have to point that out. Doesn't make the game bad. It's still a really fun experience, but there are certain cutscenes where you're like, ooh, I don't know. I feel like someone, like, just the budget went down on some scenes. I don't know. It's just an observation I'm making. Overall, this game is solid, though. It's so much fun to be Spider-Man, and you have such a great time swinging through Manhattan, and there's so many areas to go. There is a lot of side content here, too, so if you want to just, you know, veer away from the story and kind of like solve little crimes around New York, or take pictures as Peter Parker, you know, for the Bugle and stuff like that. Super fun, super doable. I'm not into that, but it's just nice that the content is there if you are into it. But yeah, I really recommend this. It's a great game, and hey, a great break from all the JRPGs that I play, and if you're like me, definitely give this a chance. It's really solid, and I don't really have to say positives about it. I mean, the game got flawless reviews. It's a great game, but I am legitimately recommending it. I had a great time. And most recently, a game that I had never played before is 20 years old, and finally I had access to it, was Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. What a great time this was, because I love JRPGs and I love Super Mario, and I just really had a wonderful time with it. I'm a big Paper Mario fan. I haven't played them all, but you know, the ones I have played I've enjoyed, so I just really got into it. And this one, I've always heard, is kind of like the best one. You know, this is, after this it kind of went downhill, blah blah blah. This is really good. So, you know, props to everyone for saying it's really good. It is. It's really awesome, and it has great writing, great characters, great story. Like, everything about it was awesome, because, you know, Super Mario's not known for story. It's okay. I mean, it's always saving Princess Peach and stuff. But this was different. This one was a little dark. Different villains, the X-Nauts. It's not Bowser, and I thought that was kind of nice and refreshing, because I don't know, like, I've seen that. Been there, done that. I'm cool if Bowser is the villain, but, like, let's do something different with him, you know? So, it's cool to have something different here. I really liked all the, you know, sidekicks in it and stuff. It was really, really fun, and it's a great JRPG. It has that time-based, you know, combat where, you know, you have to press buttons at a certain time. I know some people might find that irritating, but I really enjoyed it, and once you get it, like, it's fine. You're good the whole game, and there's so many different areas to explore, so in a way, it has that grand adventure I really, really like that. So I really enjoyed every time I got to a new area to see like a new town and explore things, go in different houses. Like, it was really cool. And the game, I have to say, is gorgeous looking. It looked really good on the Switch when I was just playing it in handheld mode, but when it was docked on my TV, I went, wow, like, this game looks amazing. I will say one negative about this game is the pacing is a little tad slow. It can be a little slow sometimes, so it's not a perfect game by any means, but it is a really, really solid game. Like, this is definitely one of my favorite Switch games now, definitely a great Mario RPG. Like, I can't recommend it enough, but just know that there's a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of backtracking, and it's a little slow sometimes. So you'll be in an area and I think, man, like, you know, I gotta walk all the way back there. I feel like it would have been nice to just kind of warp there, or if they would have just said, like, you know, like a cutscene would have ended and then it just would have brought you back somewhere instead of you actually having to physically walk there. That was one thing in terms of like a remake. I thought, well, they could have maybe added a few more quality of life features, but nonetheless, it's really good. And I will say the final boss in this game is legit. Do not, you know, think, oh, it's Super Mario, it's gonna be so easy. The final boss in this is next level, and it was quite challenging. I think, I'll be honest, it took me 5 times, but I did beat it. Very proud of myself, but yeah, this is not like some super easy game. Like, there is a challenge, but it's a good one. It's a really fun game, and I enjoyed every minute with this one. So, those are the games that I've been playing recently that I beat. I'm super stoked to talk about them because, you know, they're all pretty good. Like, I really had a good time. So I love these videos because it's a nice little way for me to give you an update of what I'm playing, give you my thoughts, my review, and then kind of discuss it with everybody. So I want to know what you guys have been playing. Please let me know in the comments below. And of course, I'll see you guys in my next video.